One of the first things I learned after joining Tumblr a few years ago was the term OTP, or One True Pairing. What does this have to do with anything? Well, let's watch today's episode and find out. ReBoot! The episode opens inside Dot's diner with Dot tearing Bob a new one for dropping Enzo off from school late, throwing her schedule into chaos. Yes, because in stark contrast to hexadecimal, Dot Matrix is a creature of habit and must have her schedule in order to the T. Kind of ironic considering what was revealed in that other season. Long story short, they have an argument and Bob storms out of the diner. Enzo tries to convince Bob to come back to the diner, but Bob claims he has a lot of things to do, and just winds up spending his time with Mike the TV, voiced by Michael Donovan, who Bob quickly kicks out. And honestly, I don't blame him. Well, I can't quite remember how I felt about Mike the TV as a kid. As an adult,
Free for only 99.
I wish total fragmentation on him. So back to Dot's diner, Enzo tries to convince Dot to talk to Bob, but much like our favorite Guardian, Dot refuses to do so, going so far as to try and remove a tear by herself. Yeah, it doesn't end well.
Good thing someone got the door.
And you thought I couldn't handle things without what's-his file name.
And you wonder why I don't like this episode. But for those of you who still don't see it, I'll get more into it at the end. So in fear of their OTPs breaking up, Enzo and a bunch of other mainframers run to Fong for advice.
Do something.
Dot won't talk to Bob. Bob won't talk to Dot. What can we do?
Bob and Dot, Dot and Bob, melee in mainframe. When will it end? Will Bob give up? Will Bob flee back to the supercomputer?
Leave mainframe?
Supercomputer?
And this is why I hate Mike the TV as an adult. Even during the earlier seasons when his role was a lot more minimal, he was one of those characters that really pissed me off. The fact that his character goes out of his way to create unnecessary drama, plus the larger role he had in that other season, makes me wish I'd put him on my top 12 most ball-gratingly annoying fictional characters list from 2 years ago. In fact, cast a Power Ranger Samurai, you've been promoted off the list. Say hello to your new number 4. That's right, he's even more annoying than SpongeBob and Patrick. So after Mike thoroughly induces panic in the small group of already panic-stricken mainframers, Fong calms them down and tells them that Bob and Dot's friendship can be saved by either tragedy or apology, and leaves it up to the interpretation of our hero, a young, impressionable child. Yeah, I can't see that going wrong. So Enzo separately calls Bob and Dot, claiming that Megabyte kidnapped him and is holding him hostage at Old Man Pearson's junkyard. They both quickly arrive at the same time to see Enzo heading towards what I assume is the system's recycling bin. Unfortunately, they spend more time arguing with each other than actually trying to save Enzo, leading Frisket to save the little sprite from an untimely deletion. Our heroes, everybody. So with that plan failing miserably, Enzo decides to try Plan B and sends Bob and Dot fake apology letters asking them to meet up at the local park. To be fair, it works. For about 3 seconds.
Incoming game. Warning, incoming game.
It's at this point where they both realize they've been duped and they argue about who sent the card as the cube lands. The game is revealed to be a prison escape game with Bob and Dot serving as the guards. Unfortunately, they're still pissed at each other and insist they can win the game without the other, arguing as the user proceeds to activate the prison's self-destruct sequence. Realizing they'd done goofed, they agree to work together to retrieve the access key from the user and arm themselves. Unfortunately, the user cuts the main power, but Dot is able to activate the backup generator and begins to lecture Bob about needing a plan when one of the prisoners attacks. Luckily, Bob saves her with the help of his bubble gun. I'm not using that soundbite if that's what you're waiting for. So they go to head off the user, but Bob quickly gets thrown off the balcony by a pair of prisoners. Thankfully, Dot quickly takes him out and then shoots a bubble at Bob to slow his descent. Or, crazy thought, he could have used Glitch. The key tool he uses in every other episode? Dot then tries to incapacitate the user but misses every single shot and decides to go after him while Bob uses Glitch to free himself from the bubble. Dot chases after the user and walks Bob through how to restore the power, the method of which is written in a form of code Bob had earlier chastised her for teaching Enzo. He quickly manages to do so and then proceeds to try and slow the user down with some admittedly funny slapstick.
Hi there. Don't you just hate me?
Dot finally catches up to the user, somehow beating him to the escape pods. I kind of always assumed Bob walked her through a shortcut off screen. And she then proceeds to monkey flip his ass into the escape pod, grabbing the access key in the process. And with only 40 seconds before the prison ship explodes, she dives off the top floor with Bob managing to save her with the help of Glitch. Oh, now you use Glitch. Basic. And after that, we roll the epilogue. Dot wins the game for our heroes, they apologize, now understanding each other's point of view, and they all head off to the diner. So, that was the TIFF, and dear lord, was that an annoying episode. I understand it's still early in the series' run, but having grown up on this show, I am shocked and appalled at how out of character these two act throughout this episode. I mean, for the user's sake, they almost got Enzo deleted because they were too busy arguing. But the biggest issue I have with this episode, aside from them trying to shove everyone's Bob and Dot OTP down our throats, was the introduction of Mike the TV, a character with no redeeming qualities other than being a pop culture spewing comic relief character that only serves to make situations worse. And trust me, as bad as he is now, he gets so much worse by the time that other season rolls around. Thankfully, he's nowhere to be seen in the next episode in the Belly of the Beast. So until next time, I'm KiraKennedy. ReBoot. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Really hope you enjoyed this episode and maybe you learned a little thing about that term OTP. Anyways, if you guys would like to follow me on social media, I am on Twitter at KiraKennedyHNR, Tumblr at KiraKennedyHNR.tumblr.com, and Facebook at Facebook.com/KiraKennedyReviews. And as always, if you'd like to see any of my past episodes or leave a comment, tell me what you think of everything, you can do so at peanutbutterdisaster.com. And while you're there, why not check out my buddy Tex Rockwolf and his show The Short Council, where they take a look at that awesome HBO show Game of Thrones. So until next time, I'm KiraKennedy, and thank you for watching.
Peanut butter disaster.